Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com. In this video, I want to show you how to create a quiz in Unbounce. Now, Unbounce does not have a quiz element, so we have to use a third-party tool to create a quiz. However, in this video, we're going to go through all this step by step to make something that looks like this. So you can either have a quiz that you can put anywhere on the page, doesn't have to be in the middle. But if you click take the quiz, there's a smooth integration. So I'm going to show you the tool that I use to create this quiz. And then if you click this option here, you'll be taken to the next page, whatever URL you set. If I click here, I'm taken to that page. Or if you don't want to have a quiz show up right in the middle of your page, you can click a button and it's going to show up a pop-up. So you can have a button saying, hey, take the quiz, click here to take quiz. People click on it and boom, there's going to be a quiz that shows up here as well. You can do that. And once again, you can click here and go to the next URL. Okay, so we're gonna do this whole thing. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to hit like and subscribe. I cover a lot of different tutorial videos on my channel. If you are interested in Unbounce, I have an Unbounce playlist of 30 or so videos. I'll put the link in the description where I teach you these neat little tips and tricks to do with Unbounce. Also, if you don't have Unbounce yet, if you use my affiliate link at go.ivanmana.com/unbounce, I give you guys a free 14-day trial and 20% off for your first 3 months after the trial. So this is an exclusive offer you cannot get just by visiting unbounce.com. So definitely check it out and follow along with me here. That out of the way, let's get into it. So this is the type of quiz we'll be creating. Obviously, it's going to be up to your creativity how you want to do it. But we're going to be using this website called tryinteract.com or just Interact. Now you can use any quiz/survey creation tool you want. This is my favorite. So I tried about 5 or 6 different tools, and this is the one I preferred the most. I thought it was the neatest looking. It was the most intuitive. When I went in here, I did not have to read any tutorials. I just got in here and just created it right off the bat as though I was already a professional. So I thought this was very intuitive, very simple to do, and that's what we'll be using. So just head over to tryinteract.com. I'll put the link in the description. Just tryinteract.com, and you will land on a page that looks like this after you sign up. It's quite simple. It's free, guys. You don't have to pay for it, okay? And we're going to be using this page here to add the quiz to. So we can add another section maybe over here. And these are all the other cool things we've done, guys, which is why I said check out the Unbounce playlist. There's a bunch of cool, neat little features here. If I save and preview the page really quickly just to show you. So there's just a bunch of things you can go down. You see this, number that goes up as you scroll on the page. You have these options here. If you select something, an option comes up. If you click me, you see a light box with like a little an image slider. You have this, you can do that, angled bottoms, anything like that, sliders, things like that, a bunch of other things, a bunch of other cool things too, so definitely take a look. But here we're just going to focus on the quiz for now. So let's head back over here and scroll down. Okay, so this is going to be our area where we add the quiz. Now, we're going to have to use this custom HTML element, so I'm going to drag it here. We don't have anything yet, but we will soon. So I'm just going to move it, for example, over here, and I'm just laying the groundwork, okay? So let's go back to our TryInteract account. I'm going to click on Create New Quiz, and now we're just going to start from scratch, okay? So we're going to do something basic just to give you an idea, but enough for you to be able to carry on with this on your own. So you can select a template. You can't really change the layout. So once something is set like this, like you have an image above the text, you can't change that. The colors you can change, however, so don't worry about, oh, well, this button color is purple, I wanted green, where's green? You can change all that. So you can really pick any one of these. It's going to be roughly the same. There's not going to be many differences. You can change the font. You cannot change the size, but you'll be able to change the font type, the boldness of it, and the images, obviously. Okay, so you can use any. Let's use this template. And we're just going to go from top to bottom, fill in some blanks, create the questions, create the results, all that fun stuff. So like I said, this is where you change the quiz color. So the button, if you want to make that a different color, let's see what fits here. Well, our button is red. And don't worry, by the way, this looks out of shape, but that's because that's how we had to do it for our CSS trick. Yeah, so I mean, red works fine for us, actually. So this is your cover, okay? So this is what somebody's going to see at the very front of the page. So if you refresh the page, that is this part right here, okay? That's the cover. So for this one, I mean, what do we want to do? We want to say, for example, a keto diet, right? For example, what is your biggest challenge with keto? for example, and we can create keto questions, right? Again, as an example, you get the drift. Now you can't bold this. You can bold some of these parts here, but you cannot bold this. Okay, so this one has to be unbolded. I like to fit it to one line. So what is your biggest challenge with? Yeah, so this one's might be tough. Might have to be 2 lines, but the shorter the headline, obviously, the more it's going to fit in one line. You can edit the cover image, so you can click here. You can click on replace image. You say yes, and then let's say they have an integration here. You can upload, or they have an integration with Unsplash, so that's pretty cool. So you don't have to spend too much time looking for images. Yeah, so obviously challenge. Let's say keto diet, see what we get. Okay, so we can just use a keto diet image. I don't really know too much about keto, so I assume this is what keto entails. So I'll just click crop and save. And this is going to be our cover image that's going to, again, show up right here, okay? And then over here, we can say, you know, fill in the short quiz to see, you know, if our solution is right for you. You can do that. You know, you can add more if you want. To remove the branding, you do have to pay, but I think this is fine. It's not too big of an issue. Like, it would show up. Actually, over here, it doesn't even show up because I made it shorter. So that's a little trick you can do to kind of remove it. But if you make it kind of full size, then it does show up. So you don't even have to worry about it if you can make it smaller. So we can leave it at that. What is your biggest challenge with? Well, let's just say might as well. Let's say with the keto diet. Might as well, since we're using up 2 lines. Fill in the short quiz to see if our solution is right for you, okay? And then we can say take quiz, and then so far so good. Now so this is the cover. Now we're gonna go to the questions, and then this is where we fill in the questions. Now, this might be too many questions, might not be not enough. You can click on add new question if you add more, or if you think this is too much, you click on remove question. And I think this is too many questions. So I'm gonna remove that, especially for a kind of tutorial video. I don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm gonna remove a bunch of these questions. Let's stick with maybe, you know, 5 at most. Might end up deleting them. Now, this gives you image answers. So if someone selects, you know, one of these, that's gonna be their answer. I don't wanna do that. I wanna use text answers, so I'm gonna select here. But if you wanna go back to those image answers, you click here, and then you can edit and you can replace the image and whatnot. And I prefer text answers, right? It just looks neater. And this is really hard to see. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is actually select any of that. Then we can go here and we can make this, for example, white. Okay, and that just makes it a little easier to see. Or we can change the background. So instead of having that as red background, I'm gonna click this tool here, and then it's gonna be, I believe, button. I think it's option, actually. So if we change this option color, you can change it, yeah, like that. And yeah, so this was a bit much. So just gonna leave it at that, leave it at red. Kind of hard to see though, huh? Okay, let's make it a little bit, let's make the options a little bit less. And then, yeah, so that makes it easier to see, and then we'll just change, we'll make this black. And then maybe that should be a little easier to see. Okay. So that's all right. Let me do one more thing. Just makes it a little easier to see, maybe something like that. Okay, so we'll just do that. And then let's start off with the first question, right? So our cover said, what is your biggest challenge with the keto diet? Fill in the quiz to see if that solution is right for you. And then we can say here, for example, when did you start the keto diet? Okay, so that's the first question. And we can say here, you know, I started a few days ago. I started a few weeks ago. I started a few months ago. And you can delete answers or add answers. So if you think that you only need 3, you can just go in and delete it. You can say, I started a few years ago. Okay, so we can leave it at that. And, you know, that's our first question. When did you start the keto diet? Let's move on to the next one. We just select this option here. And now what's the next question we could ask, right? Just make anything up. I'm just showing you how to do it. So when did you start the keto diet? And what was your biggest obstacle so far? And then you can obviously add these little things here. If you go to emojipedia.org, I believe you should be able to add things like that. We're not going to do it here to make it simple. And we'll just say the biggest obstacle. Let's see, not able to lose weight. And then over here, we'll delete that. We'll say not able to enjoy my favorite foods. You know, not enjoying working out at all. And then we can delete this option. Let's say, you know, we just have 3, or we can say other, for example. So see how easy it is to just add questions and remove questions, and that should be good. So here's our first question. When did you start the keto diet? What is your biggest obstacle so far? Let's go here. Again, you know, image stuff, we can use text answers. And for this one, let's say, for example, what's your favorite keto diet food, right? And then what are some keto diet foods? They're high fat, low carb, right? Shoot, I have no idea. I think avocado is one of them. What are some other foods? Not apples. Shoot, I have to do some research, huh? So let's just say food A. I don't wanna mess this up. Food B, and then we'll say another food C. I don't remember what other foods there are. What is your favorite keto diet food? Okay, and then we go to the next question, and then let's just do 4 here. So I'm gonna delete this one for simplicity. I think you guys have an idea and understanding. And then if you wanna add a new question, you click add new question, and then you do the same thing. As you can see, really intuitive, okay? What is your favorite keto diet food? And then here we can say, let's do text answers. Let's say, if you could pay for the ultimate solution, would you be willing to, for example? And then here we'll say, yes. Definitely, absolutely not, maybe, I need to learn more, okay? And then we can leave it at that. Let's suppose this is what it is, and then we would go to results, and then here's where we add the results depending on the answers, okay? So let me explain to you a little bit how this works. So let me remove some results here, confirm. So if you go to questions, what you would do is if you click on edit result combination, you're gonna see that these are the answers, these are the results. So if you wanna say that, hey, this answer corresponds to this result, you would select that. You would say this answer corresponds to this result, for example, you would select that. And then if you wanna delete something, you just, so for example, if I wanna delete this integration, I'm gonna click here and then click here, and it's gonna delete it, and then you can add it again, okay? And then it's gonna kinda do the math for you. So if you have all these answers corresponding to one option or the other, it's gonna add the numbers up, and it's gonna say, hey, if you've always selected all the answers that mostly go to this option, then we're gonna show this result page. If you mostly selected this option and then a different option and they mostly led to this result, then we'll likely show you this result. So they kind of do the math here for you. So just select, you know, say which one makes the most sense. So you can say, you know, I started a few months ago, it's gonna be this one, and I started a few years ago, is also gonna be this one. And so now if anyone selects any one of these, this is gonna be like a +1 to this result, and that's what's gonna show, okay? So we're just gonna go back here, and if we go back to results, let me quickly show you, by the way, just so you got an idea. So this is the result page, okay? So I have set it up so that if someone selects certain answers to the question, the solution is not right for you, but I still give them the option to go to the next page. So things like that. So this might be a little too much text here, for example. So what you would want to do if you don't want to write so much, you just delete it. Again, super intuitive. And you could say here, and then you say, for example, this is the headline. You say, awesome, we have the right solution for you. Oh, and by the way, did we change the... Yeah, so here's the question image, by the way. We didn't set the images here. So we set the image for the cover. We didn't set the image for the question, so I forgot about that. So over here, we can add keto diet again. Just add some images. You can add GIFs as well. So we can just keep adding some of these images, and then the images are going to show up, okay? And then you can hide the question image so it doesn't show up. I prefer to have it show up. I think it looks nice. So we'll just keep adding stuff to it. You can drag it here, crop, and save. And then you would do the same things for the other ones. So over here, keto diet, select this option here, crop and save. And one more, show question image. We're gonna do keto diet, and let's say this one. So just as an example, obviously you would find your own images and add them. We'll click save. And now we go back to results again, and then we say, you know, this is the right solution for you. So this is going to be solution, you know, solution A, for example. So I'm going to type something in, let's say, based on your replies, we highly suggest that you check out XXX, right? Or we link them to our website. This is a program You know, like here, for example, I'm promoting Synergy Spanish. So I'm telling people that, hey, judging by the answers, here's what we suggest, and here's a little bit about the offer. Check out the website, okay? And that's what we'll be doing here. Based on your supplies, we highly suggest you check out, you know, let's say, the Ultimate Keto Fixer. This is just a made-up thing. This is a program that will help you lose weight without needing to work out or sacrifice your favorite foods. And we'll say, check it out by clicking the button below. Okay, and then that's the idea. And that's it. And then over here for the URL, you select the URL. I don't have any URL for this, so I'm just gonna link people to my website. And okay, so if you're setting up tracking, guys, you want to set it to open link in a new tab. If you select this, it's going to open it in the same iframe. So it's kind of tricky. They're still working on this, is what they told me. So if you don't open it in a new tab, it's not going to open in the same tab. It's going to open in the iframe. So over here, if we select it and I click here, the website is going to open in this box, in that little box. That's where the website is going to open. I don't know if you guys want that. You might, but chances are you want to open it in a new tab. So you will pretty much always want to select open a new tab and hit save, okay? And then for the call to action button, we can say, check out the Ultimate Keto Fixer now, okay? And that's pretty much it. And then again, you can change the colors here. You can change the font. You can change the style of the buttons. Like this is the template that we selected. It was mostly red, which is why everything is right here. But you can select a different template or just change the colors around. So that is this option. And then over here, we can say, you know, for example, sorry, our solution might not be for you, or whatever you want to say, right? Or you could say solution B is the right answer for you, not solution A, whatever. So we can say here, for instance, we can delete that. We can say, judging by the answers you have selected, this solution, or let's say, our solution might not be right for you. But if you still want to check it out, click the button below. For example, okay, again, I'm just giving you examples. And then over here, go to URL, make sure it's open set to new window. ivanmeta.com. Okay. And then you can hide a call to action. You don't need one, but we do. And then we can say here, let me see the Ultimate Keto Diet Fixer, right? Whatever it was. And yeah, you can add lead generation. So you can set up an opt-in form, but you will need to, I believe you have to upgrade for that. So if we select on, now I haven't checked out the lead generation. I believe you have to upgrade to use it. I'm not 100% sure, but take a look at this, see if it works. And if you need help with it or you want me to make another video, just let me know in the comments and I can take a look myself. But for here, we just have our results here. We have, you know, the different options. And then again, if you go to questions, what you want to do is you want to edit the question correlations and select, well, hey, if someone selects avocado, then our solution is not a perfect fit for them. So you would go here, you know, select sorry, and leave it at that. And then if you want to remove this, you select that, select that. If you want to remove this, select that, and then change it to, for example, here, okay? And that's the idea. So once you're done with this, you're gonna hit publish, and it's telling us that we have this set to on. Yeah, so I accidentally set branching logic to on. Again, there's a lot of other tools here, guys. You can take a look. I'm giving you the most important information that you need in order to proceed and make this work, okay? So branching logic, it has some other, it's like the automation workflow and get response, where it's if this, then this, if that, then that, kind of additional advanced options. We don't need that. We're gonna hit publish once again, click publish changes, and now we'll be given a code, okay? So do not use the pop-up code. Or at least with Unbounce, doesn't really work. I tried. The one we want to use is embed code, and we want to use JavaScript, okay? So click on embed code, click on JavaScript. You can share the standalone link if you want, but we're going to select embed code. Again, JavaScript, select this, and then select this option here, and say fit embed to container, okay? So you want to have all these selected, checkmarked. Click on copy code. Let's go back in here, and we've added this code here, so we can double click it, and we can go ahead and paste it. Now, there might not be enough space at the bottom of this block, right? So if we save this, and we might have to republish the page. If we just preview, it doesn't really show up. The images don't show up and the quiz doesn't quite work. So we do have to completely republish the page. Preview doesn't work, and then we can take a look at it here. So let's go ahead and scroll down. And then here was our quiz, okay? So as you can see, it kind of took a second to load, but there's no space at the bottom, right? So, you know, we've successfully set this up. So what we have to do is go back here and we just have to add more space at the bottom. But this should scale accordingly. So if you make this bigger, right, this will take up more space and it's going to scale accordingly. So the font and the images and everything's going to get bigger. But we do need more space at the bottom, so we're just going to make it like that. We're going to drag it, we're going to center it, we're going to save, republish, and we can take a look again. So you kind of have to eye it. You might not necessarily get it right the very first time. You'll have to eye it and just see if it works. And we've done that, so we can hit refresh on this page. And now this should be bigger. And then boom, it loads. Okay, so now there's a bit more space, but still we need a little bit more there. We can see the questions, we're getting there. And then if you click here, you know, you go to my website, which we said, yvonnemanor.com. Make sure it loads. There you go. So let's go back here real quick. We can drag that down, drag it down a little bit, hit save, hit republish, and that should hopefully be it. So let's take another look. Republishing, give it a second for it to... Okay, now we can refresh. And that should be all for the quiz, okay? So notice the cool thing about it is that it doesn't start, like the quiz doesn't start with giving you extra space, but it adds extra space as the questions come up. So there, see, there's enough space here, but then if we refresh the page, at the beginning here, you see it only takes up that space, right? So it doesn't have all this white space at the bottom. And then if you click take quiz, then it adds to it. And that's because we selected this option, fit embed to container and auto size embed, okay? So you wanna make sure you just have all these options selected. Guys, I've been playing around with this quite a bit, so I figured what the best options were, and then you select it and then boom, right, this is the quiz. Now, for those of you asking me how to make it work with a button, if you don't wanna, you know, just have the quiz smack dab in the middle of the page, what you would do is you would drag a button, quite simple, and you would basically have to make a pop-up, right? So you would basically have to create a light box. So you can drag this button here. Let's make it a color button so we can actually see it. Yeah, relating opacity goes off. Change text color to white. There you go. And then we're gonna click here, and then for the button, we're gonna say go to URL, but we're gonna say show a light box, right? And then we don't have a light box, or we do. Let's look at this light box. Which one's light box 1? Okay, so these are light boxes that we created, so we don't want that light box. Okay, so yeah, this is what we were playing around with, guys, in one of the other videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and create another light box. Okay, this is gonna be light box 4. So we're gonna select this. We're gonna show light box, create light box, and we're gonna edit that light box. And then over here, we're gonna add the code. So we're gonna drag this custom HTML element. We're gonna go back to our interact. Don't use the pop-up code. That's the mistake I was making. Don't use a pop-up code. It's gonna add another iframe. It's just not gonna work. You always wanna be using JavaScript. Pop-ups here in Unbounce, as far as I know, as far as I was trying with the pop-ups, it doesn't work. So it has to be kind of like a light box. It has to be a light box. So we're gonna copy that, and we're just gonna paste that code there, save code, and now we can just drag it here again, and this one we'll probably have to make bigger. Keep dragging it down. I'm gonna scroll down. Maybe that's enough space, right? Again, you're gonna play it by ear, and you're gonna publish the page, and then you're gonna see what it looks like. So we're gonna hit save. We're gonna publish here, and then we're gonna look at the page again. And this time it should be fine. Okay, so let's refresh, and then let's see what happens if we click the button. So if we click the button, here's our quiz, and there you go. So this seems to work nicely. As you can see, there is a little bit of extra space, extra light box space, right? So we might have to remove that. So like I said, we were playing by ear, right? So we're gonna remove maybe that extra space. Don't know exactly how much, but maybe something like that. You can hit save. Yeah, you're just gonna have to save and publish this a few more times and just see how it goes. Give it a second to republish. Okay, and then go here. And again, and obviously you can, you know, make the hover button effect different. Check out my Unbounce playlist. I show you, I have a ton of videos on that. We're gonna click here. Yeah, and there's still a little bit of space. We can't really, you know, avoid it, but I think this is still this is still solid. Like no one's gonna pay attention to, you know, that little extra space there. You might be able to kind of play around with it, maybe with some coding, or maybe if you, what I haven't tried is if you remove the light box. So if you make this bigger than the light box, I haven't tried that. That's an option. So if we do that, and then we drag this higher, we can see if that works, and that might reduce that little white space there. So we can see if that works. Let's quickly republish the page. Give it a second, and that might actually solve it. So let's go back here. Okay, here's the button again. Yeah, no, so it caps at, it doesn't let us go further, okay? So you do need that light box. It doesn't, obviously doesn't let the JavaScript go through. But yeah, that's fine, and that's how you create a quiz, guys. It doesn't have to be try interact. It can be anything. It can be any quiz, survey, page builder, but this is the one that I found works the best for me. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Again, check out my channel and my playlist, my Unbounce playlist. I have, you know, videos showing you how to do all this type of cool stuff. And if you haven't signed up for Unbounce yet, check it out using my affiliate link at go.ivanmana.com/unbounce, where I give you a 20% off on your first 3 months after the 14-day free trial. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.